So in our reading today, we have a somewhat abstract passage, it seems, from the prophet Zechariah. And just one point I would like to make from that. It says, the angel says to the prophet here that Jerusalem is to remain unwalled. Now again, we don't live in walled cities unless you're from Derry. So we don't really get the idea of, well, obviously back in the day, having a wall around your city, it kept you safe from attackers, from pillagers, from neighbouring or rival tribes or counties or countries or whatever it may have been. So it was safety. Your walls kept you safe. But Jerusalem is to remain unwalled because of the great number of men and cattle that will be in her. So basically the walls won't be able to contain her. So she'll need no walls at all. But it is the Lord who speaks, I will be a wall of fire for her all round her. This is something that the Lord was trying to teach our ancient Jewish brothers over and over and over and over again. You don't need a king, I'll be your king. But they said, yeah, but we'd like a king like all the other nations have. And the Lord warned them. He said, yeah, but if you have a king like all other nations have, then your king will be just like the kings of all other nations. They'll take the best of your land, they'll take the best of your daughters, they'll take the best of your sons for their armies, they'll take the best of your flocks for their own. And they said, yes, that sounds fantastic. So they got kings, and kings made a mess of it. So the Lord wants to be their king. The Lord wants to be their guide. The Lord wants to be their wall and their rampart. The Lord wants to be their everything. But very, very often we revert back to doing what we know and doing what we're able to do, because ultimately we just find it hard to trust that God will do his part. So we prefer to actually have things more under control ourselves than trust God. And this is a problem in the church today, when we see the need for renewal as regards vocations, as regards parishes or dioceses, all these things that need to be renewed. And we've human ideas, but we find it difficult to kneel down before the Lord and say, Lord, like, what do you want here? And whatever you ask us to do, we will do. We will do. We will serve. This isn't our church. We didn't build this. It's entrusted to us. We just have to carry it on. But ultimately, you're the guide. You're the wall around it. You're the spirit. You're the heart of it. So what can we do to serve? I think when we think of building, right, builders, it's a very simple idea, and you'll pardon the simplicity of this analogy. But when you turn up on a building site, okay, you have to have maybe a basic amount of equipment. Probably you have to have your own hat, boots, and maybe some basic tools. But apart from that, everything is provided for you. All the building material is provided for you. The wood, the bricks, the mortar, the trucks, the machines. You can't be expected to bring all of those. It would be ridiculous. So when you turn up on a building site to build a house, what do you have to bring? Yourself and your willingness to work. Okay, you don't actually have to bring all the raw materials, obviously. But you do have to bring yourself and your willingness to work. If you're not willing to work, well then what are you doing there? There's all these raw materials around you, but there's nothing getting done, not because of a lack of supply, but because your lack of effort. Okay, so it is with God, that when we have to build up the church or renew the church, we've got to stop looking into our own pockets. We've got to stop looking into our own handbags or rucksacks for the means to do this, because we won't find them there. We will find the means to renew the church in God himself. He has provided everything we need. When we think of Our Lady today, on this Saturday, Our Lady is just this perfect example, right, of receiving everything from the Lord and then using everything that she has been given for others. So she receives without charge, she gives without charge. She receives everything, she gives everything. And it's such a perfect model for you and I, and such a perfect model for the church. Did she have to go invent some way of being preserved from all stain of original sin? No, that's just not possible. Did she have to invent some way, or like, what did she, like, as regards protecting Jesus as a child from Herod, or there was nothing. All they had to do, Mary and Joseph, all they had to do was listen to what the Lord said and direct it, and then follow. The Lord provided everything. All they had to do was follow. Important and all, essential and all, as their role was. So Our Lady just receives and passes on. And the real danger today is that if we don't do that, if we're not used to receiving from God and then giving, what we will end up doing ultimately is that, since we won't be taking from God, we will give of ourselves. So we'll not give God, we'll give us. And that's something we mentioned there a while ago, a couple of days ago as well. That's greatly inferior. Instead of giving God, we give ourselves. And they're only mere human ideas with mere human ideals, and it's a kind of a dead end. So this is not the way forward, obviously. In order to renew the church, we must receive everything from the Lord and then give everything that we get. And that way, we will never lack anything. If we receive from the Lord and give everything that we receive, we lack nothing, and the church will lack nothing. And what's so Marian about all of this as well is that that's such a humble way of behaving. Because then, rather than us patting ourselves on the back for all of our wonderful solutions and so on, we humbly recognize that everything we did, everything we had, everything that was, all the raw materials surrounding us, none of them were provided by us. The Lord did everything. And then to him be all the glory. That's the spirit of our Blessed Lady. She worked perfectly with everything that she was given, but she knows that she wasn't the source of it. And so we ask the Lord now today to renew the church, to renew our hearts, to renew our Marian spirit, so that we can receive without charge and give without charge, and so that we can live this Marian attitude of giving what we have received, which is God himself. Amen.